60.
Great run of the match play for the machine.
Yeah, I was going to buy him a Koran bun, but I thought I'd better not.
140.
I bought some black Korans instead. Anyway, I'll stop that there. It's irrelevant. I'm not interested.
60.
Not interested to see which route Danny goes here. 16s, for more 16s.
84.
Can take out top, so Connor Scutt will get a look at the 140.
$130.
He just feathers that dart in his hand, doesn't he? That would have been his first real moment.
Game shot.
Very impressive once again from Danny Lauby. Really enjoying this after 2 legs.
Joe Cullen had a much needed win, 6-1 against Madders Rasma, and he averaged 95 in that as well. I think that's really important for Joe Cullen today to have not left here with another first round exit.
125.
Yeah, without looking at my numbers, I'm pretty sure Joe Cullen went out of the race for the World Grand Prix because of the results of late.
100.
Probably just the kick up the backside he needs. He's not one for looking at ranking tables, Joe. I think he believes his form will come back. I don't think there's too much panic. I guess if you do look at that, you'll think, oh dear.
Well, you're totally right. He's actually 17th in both the main order of merit and the Pro Tour order of merit in that race, missing out by 1 position in either qualification route, Joe Cullen.
100.
I know I sit here with this mic in my hand as a pundit, but I tell you what, this has been a strange old board. I think I'd have got the first 3 matches if I was asked the result of each one. I'd have got it wrong each time. Sedlacek beating Smith would have been a 3 out of 3. I did have Connor Scutt to win this game. In early doors, it's been all about this man.
100.
He puts himself on a better finish than the one that Scutt is taking on here, because it could just be a dart of the bull at the end of this. Double 13 instead.
55.
Failed to find it. So Lauby returns 76, 2 darts at double 8. Becomes 1 at double 4.
Game
found 3-0.
Yeah, it must be really frustrating for Danny Lauby. I think he knows he's one of those feast or famine players, but going into those 3 darts, I mean, he's averaging over 107. He has dipped down to 104, despite hitting that checkout finish there. But this is what he can do. I guess, you know, the question, the conundrum for him is, you know, how can he do it more consistently? $140. 100. 180.
Really good leg of darts from Scutt, especially at 3-0 down.
77.
He hasn't panicked, has he, as Connor? Mature head on young shoulders. A potentially 11 darter.
33.
Well, Danny could add some pressure here. Not going to do that really now, even if he finds a second treble.
122.
Again on the board.
Game shot.
Just creeps into that double 4. Will that get him up and running? Danny Lauby already at the hockey, just getting himself prepared. He holds his throat. The rest of this match, he wins the game.
100. 100.
Andy Bolton 5-1 up on Brendan Dolan, who's actually supposed to be celebrating his birthday today. Brendan.
41.
Not much of a celebration, is it?
Yeah, he's not one for reputations, as Andy Bolton. He's had some good victories. Really tough player.
60. 180.
180. Cut his score in half.
The seeds are dropping, as we mentioned. Callan Ridds is out. Christopher Tatchke is out.
60.
And as Chris mentioned, James Wade, Barney out to Stephen Burton. So
100.
Just felt like one-way traffic for most of this match, and the American ace is going to get a go at the 80 here. Ladder climbing.
Game shot.
And he's at the top rung.
yeah, this is the best I've seen of Danny Lauby.
$140.
Connor Scutt's getting a lot of success lately. Like I said, there's no panic. And once again, when he
180.
turns round, you hit him with a 140. He comes back with a 180. Very, very impressive.
97.
Yeah, not a lot you can do here, Connor Scutt, against a performance like this. You mentioned it, Glenn, yourself.
99.
Never sure whether Lauby's going to average in the 70s or in the hundreds. Well, it is top tier tungsten. The man from the
100.
USA here, average well into three figures.
Yeah, it's a sign of my age. Look at those numbers. When I think of Danny Lauby, I think of his dad.
44. 102.
Yeah, this man in the pitch's highest average at a Players' Championship, 103.60. He is peppering that right now. A chance here for Scutt.
Options. Tops.
22.
Over the top, so an opportunity for a 5-1 advantage.
We saw Mervyn King start on the 18s on this one, 180. It's double 19.
99.
That could have been the game. Would have been throwing for a 6-1 win.
Game shot.
That won't be the case now. Last start in hand. Scutt delivers under pressure.
Yeah, Danny showed no reaction last time. Connor Scutt did win a leg. Once again, finding those 20s. Just no respite at all for Connor Scutt right now.
Trouble on the doubles causing Connor's problems. Following this, we're going to see Pikachu.
140.
Ricardo Pietrasco taking on Nick Kenny in the second round. Then Stephen Burton will face either
140.
Leighton Bennett or Jose de Sosa. Right now on stream 2 with Dan Dawson, Boris Kritschmar versus Simon Whitlock. Following it will be Gerwin Price against Stevie Beaton. Board 3, the
57.
first second round tie will be Chisnell versus Vandenberg. Stream 4 will feature Gary Anderson against
99.
Jeffrey de Graaf.
Yeah, it's been a great board. But for me, Danny
94.
Lauby has been the player. And he's see out the job. Options on the 134. He won't like that. It
102.
leaves double 16. I like the way he just stood back for a second. Not something you associate with Danny.
180.
The 180 to try and rattle Danny Lauby there. Maybe he has.
16.
Yeah, we had this conversation this week. And I think that just to hear the referee say the 180. Still has to execute this double 15. It seems
Game
to be a
shot.
double as so many more players are using now. Michael Smith in particular and Connor Scutt. Now back on throw.
Yeah, 3 missed darts for Danny, who's a drummer away from the dartboard, and he's felt the repercussions for those there.
Good dance.
Just a symbol of what I can do, Glenn.
97.
Honestly, you're a Ringo star with that mic, you.
$180.
Certainly doing what he can do. These weapons. And good
60.
to just regather himself after that moment.
Yeah, I've been very impressed. Like you say, Connor Scutt's playing nicely.
140.
And after everything that's happened to Dan Lauby, to then start this leg against the throat, 180, 140. It's still his highest recorded average at present.
81.
Just has to stay simple, which is easier said than done when you're up there, but I like the bullseye here.
130.
So does Danny.
$57.
All the time in the world. Pick his favourite double.
Game shot.
11 data. Danny Lauby, one away.
By 3 and has the throw. Not sure he knows it. Well, I don't think Danny Lauby's realised that it's his turn. It's just checking with the referee Owen Binks there. Connor Scutt who never turns around once.
Yeah, it's not often you say to Danny Lauby, hurry up.
99. $100. $58.
Interesting to see him utilise that switch to the 18 so often in this game, and I think it's probably quite sensible for a player who's as snappy and speedy as him.
And the fact that 180 here leaves a finish, it takes away leaving the 343, the 342.
128.
Does it again. Just less to do, isn't there? Interesting, the player that used to do it the most was one of the slower players in the sport in Dennis Priestley.
60.
Yeah, it might be a bit of a negative to Danny, but I'm waiting for him to sort of hit the brick wall, but it's been almost perfect, this performance. Nothing wrong with them darts, and that last dart was a real pearler. Been a beautiful performance.
83.
I can't really see any other outcome now. 116 points, 2 visits to clean it up. May do it in 1.
96.
Almost did, but will come back for the remainder.
Yes, he'll go through his preparation. But there will be pressure coming back.
130.
And plenty of it. Danny Lauby for the match. And the match is played superbly well.
10.
When it mattered, he couldn't finish. Can Connor?
Game
He
shot.
can. Is that the brick wall that Glenn Durrant was talking about?
And I didn't want to say it, I think it's really unfair to say, but with Danny just niggling at the back of my mind. Like I say, it's been a 9 out of 10 performance from him, but he is susceptible to sort of dipping off during games.
60.
Like you said, when he needed it most there. But champions bounce back, Danny. Just like that.
140. $85. $91.
You used the term yesterday, Chris, opportunity knocks on this board. And when you look at the last 64 on here, Florian Hempel against Merv King, Karol Sedlacek against the winner of this. I think all 4/5 players will fancy their chances to get to the last 16.
60.
Absolutely. Just wondering if Connor Scutt's starting to fancy his chances of getting through this game himself. Seems to be slightly more measured as well.
85.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought that. I think he's clearly made a decision not to play at the pace of Danny.
100.
Danny has been the better player. Once again, he's a finish away from victory.
$140.
Good pressurising visit, but that finish, well, it won't be taken out. One thing getting to the line, it's another thing crossing it.
But I like the fact he just took 2 or 3 seconds with that last start there. The setup play is absolutely fine. Puts plenty of pressure on. Well, that's a great first start. Biggest start of this match.
Game shot.
And he's up for the challenges, Connor Scutt. No emotion, but inside he'll feel he's been second best. And that's a last leg shootout. Big 3 darts pending for Lauby.
The game goes a distance.
92.
Which of the 18s is relatively successful once again.
$180.
Well, I'm going to say nothing if he goes for treble 90 in Lexington. Maybe not the time for this, but hasn't it been a great game?
140.
Well, yesterday he was on a night at 180 after a first visit. He went for another one. That's his intention there. He does have this little party trick where he goes 180, 171 and attempts 3 bullseyes. But I think you're right, Glenn. That would have been an audacious way to try and win a last leg decider.
96.
Yeah, that last dart could have been placed differently. Should have used the bullseye to leave a finish, but this is extraordinary.
123.
Absolutely superb. Second best throughout this game is Connor Scutt. Yet now he is dipping for that winning line. 2 darts away.
Now, this will be hard to take for Lauby, won't it? It's like a boxing match in which he's had his opponent on the floor several times and he's staggered up, landed an uppercut,
18.
but hasn't knocked him out just yet.
And will it be a haymaker from Danny Lauby? It's 114. Needs the treble 18. It's been good to him in this match.
94.
He can't believe that hasn't gone in. The width of the wire, the difference between Lauby advancing to round 2 and exiting the tournament. Because despite being the better player for much of the game, he could be about to be cut.
No score.
But he's missed as well.
Absolutely incredible way to end this engrossing, enthralling game.
15.
Wild, wild, and not so handsome.
With all the great darts that have been thrown, and it's now just about who can hold the nerve. And it turns out that Connor can. Danny cannot believe the defeat. Lauby losers. Pat on the back for Connor Scutt, who did put a good leg together in the decider, but both players missed multiple darts at double at the end of that game. There you can see the tail of the tape. The average still very high from Lauby. It just shows you how well he did play for most of the match. But in the end, it's defeat for the American and Scutt, who advances through to round 2. And we'll be back with some round 2 action after a slight break here. Stay with us. Ricardo Pietrasco against Nick